Hey, this is Robert, and thank you so much for tuning into Station Square. We have our lovely special guest in the corner. You might have seen him in a couple of horror stuff, voiceover. He's pretty much been around the map for a long time. So this is Larry in the corner. Thank you so much for joining me on this afternoon Station Square episode.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime. So I guess with since we were kind of doing a little bit of talking, we were just kind of talking about how this week is going. So how would you say that 2025 is for you so far, since we're kind of already in July, which is
I
crazy.
know, it's crazy. I've
Yeah.
been involved in a project for like 4 or 5 years now, and it's taking up more and more of my time. And that is a musical called 44, the Obama Musical. And it's about Barack Obama, his rise to the presidency, and the challenges along the way. It's a comedy. It's very funny, great music, great lyrics, a lot of comedy. You can learn about it at www.44obamamusical.com. You can hear the songs, you can watch the scenes. So this year, we've been to Chicago, we've been to New York, we've been to Philadelphia, we've done it here in LA, and this year we moved into the Kirk Douglas Theater, which is part of the Center Theater Group, and we did it there for 4 weeks. Then we took a short break and we came back and did it for 8 weeks. And now, in another few weeks, we're going to be heading to Chicago again to the Studebaker Theater to do it there for a month. So that's kind of been taking up my year, um, energy wise and focus wise. Although every year is different, but this year just seems to be like a theater year, especially for this show, which is hopefully heading to New York. That may be the next step. We're not sure. I play Mitch McConnell, and I'm his nemesis and in his rise to power. But it's a comedy. It's very funny. The guy that plays the lead, T.J. Wilkins, Obama, is just sensational, sensational. And so that's been my year so far.
Yeah, and you're definitely right because when it comes to theater, like specifically when it comes to live performances, I noticed that, over the years, I know that everything's kind of been open. I mean, it's been opened back up, like we're just doing a lot more in-person stuff, but
Yeah.
specifically for theater, it's kind of been really exploding over the last couple of yeah, since because after everything kind of opened up again in 2021 after I mean
Uh,
we are technically still in a pandemic. I don't yeah, I'm not really quite sure about that, but yeah, I know that after everything kind of started getting the ball rolling again, it's like theater just kind of really exploded. Voiceover also kind of really exploded too, because we were also talking about how there's a lot of folks that are just getting their start, a lot of new people that came from a stage background that are just now getting dipping their toes into voiceover. So it's kind of really an exciting time, to be honest.
yes. Look, we've all kind of moved into our houses to work now, and that's opened up a lot of
Yeah.
possibilities. I have a friend, PJ Oakland, who does audiobooks, and his career just has exploded. He's in the booth all day, basically reading. He's now also producing, so that's really big, audiobooks. Yeah, but personally, I've done a lot of voiceover, and I love it. It's great money, it's great experience, great people. I do find my focus, I do find myself being drawn back to the stage or to on camera wherever possible. It's kind of my roots. It's what I studied for and stuff. And so it's been really, I've really enjoyed it. But I love voiceover. I mean, just to be able to, just be in your house and work, do a gig in your house and audition out of your house, it's fantastic. So look at, as an actor, any work is good, any work is good. So whatever comes my way, I'm happy. I'm happy, dude. I'm just happy to be working. It's been a long haul and I haven't tired of it. I still find it fascinating and challenging. People are always interesting. The material is always interesting, and I just thank God I found my calling in life because I almost went a different route. I was this close to going to law school, and at the last minute, kind of changed course, and I'm so happy I did because I've never been bored.
Imagine that.
I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
mean it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
I was like, yeah, law school. Imagine that.
Well, it would have been an interesting challenge. I like the intellectual aspect of it. I probably would have, to a degree, enjoyed being a lawyer because it's a performance-oriented sort of thing in a way, assuming you're a courtroom lawyer. And the mental challenge is something, but there's just been nothing's been like being an actor. Being an actor to me has just been a dream come true. I'm still pinching myself because it's just play. It's play, basically. We get to just imagine and bring characters to life, and and meet great people, work with great, talented people, and really create some magic. And it's like I say, it's never dull, always exciting. And, it can be physically challenging, emotionally, mentally challenging, but that's good. That's good. So, yeah, I feel very lucky, very lucky.
Yeah, we were also just kind of talking beforehand about, meeting a lot of the people that are in the industry because
Hmm.
you've got to work with guys like Rob Paulson, Maurice LaMarche, so on and so
Yeah.
forth. And
Yeah.
I actually got to do like a little bucket list dream, one of those things where I
Good.
actually finally got to meet Rob Paulson. But I also met Tom Kenny, who is also at the same convention.
Fantastic. These
So
guys are these
it's like,
guys are
yeah,
another dimension. They're a level of talent. They're literally at another dimension. I mean, they're again, they just have it. They just get it, and especially in the voiceover world, especially animation, Tom Kenny is just a stick of dynamite. I mean, that guy's amazing. They're all wonderful. Maurice is hysterical. If you've ever hung around Maurice for a few minutes, I mean, they're very funny guys. Like I say, you'll find a lot of very good-natured people in voiceover. They're just funny to be around. The when I worked on Animaniacs, and I worked on Animaniacs, and I worked on Freakazoid. What were the other ones I worked with Rob? And it's just a laugh fest. You sit in the booth with everybody, and they're just being funny the entire time. So yeah, they're special people, very special. I've yet to meet a sullen animation actor. They're just full of ideas, and it's great being with them.
yeah. Was it Pinky and the Brain?
Pinky in
That
the
was the
Brain,
other.
that's the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pinky in the Brain. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. Because I kind of came from because that era of Warner Brothers animation was just kind of like, man, that was, boy, what I want to go back to.
Yeah,
What I want
exceptional.
to give to go back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, the days when we all used to record together. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think several of the animation jobs I've done, you just come in and do your own lines, and then everyone they sync it all
Yeah.
together. But no, we would all sit in the same room. You'd all sit in the same room and riff off each other, which for an actor is the best. You feed off each other's energy, and I think it makes for the best kind of performance. That's my
Yeah.
favorite anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just talking to somebody. I don't know if it was Michael Bell who I've always had on, or just, but I know it
Yeah.
was a ton of people that I've spoken to over the years. And it's so true because when you're in a room with all of these really crazy, wild people, in the best way possible, because like, look, you never know if you'll run into like a Rob or Tom or Jim Cummings or just D. Bradley Baker. There's a lot of those.
Oh,
The I'm talking like the cream of the crop, man,
yes.
and
Yes.
just getting to work with a lot of these people, and then just hearing them just do something that somehow is even better than what is in the script. Because
Oh,
somebody
yes.
pointed out to me that, the script is a skeleton, but you as an actor are giving life to it. You're breathing, you're making it come to life, essentially. And keep forgetting who said that to me, but I think it might have been Bob Bergen or somebody else. But yeah, it's kind of goes along the lines of like, you as an actor, you're giving it life, just bringing the skeleton, just you know, it's alive type of thing, like the Frankenstein type of
Absolutely.
thing. So
And the
yeah,
best I found the best directors are the ones that give the actors that freedom to do that because they
yeah,
know these people have a lot to bring to it and they'll let them just kind of go. There's other situations where they say, no, just say it as written and just stick to the script and do it this way or that way. And yeah, you can get a great performance out of that. But when you let these guys loose, when you open the gate to the corral and let them out, it's insane. In fact, sitting in a waiting when we used to audition, you'd be in a waiting room waiting to go into audition. We'd all be in the same waiting room, and it was like going to a comedy club. I mean, you just sit there and just listen to these guys. And if you dared to join in, you better be good, because they were very fast, very fast. Yeah, I really appreciate those guys a great deal. Who's the
yeah.
other one I always think of? Who's the guy that did uh, Ren and Stimpy? Who did
Oh, was it Billy West? Yeah,
Billy
Billy.
West?
Yeah,
Billy West, very
dude,
nice guy. But man, that guy, he starts just going and yeah, it's great. It's great. I
dude,
love that
it's
cartoon. That might have been my favorite cartoon of all time. I just love that cartoon.
yeah, that show is pretty nuts, man.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think it's also one of the most important too, because if it wasn't for Ren and Stimpy, we wouldn't have gotten a lot of those Cartoon Network shows way back when, like Dexter's Lab, um, like SpongeBob. I mean, come on, it's kind of like a pretty big. I mean, especially when you watch like newer episodes, like it definitely has a lot of that Ren and Stimpy influence to it. I mean, it always was, but it's still. I kind of like it how it still is being its own thing without being like Ren and Stimpy 2.0. So, and I mean,
Yeah.
SpongeBob is kind of very, very, very different from say Rocco or Ren and Stimpy or any of those shows that came out way back when. And we're still getting shows now, like what was it? There's like a new Looney Tunes show that kind of also went it like sort of like a Bob Clampett, Ren and Stimpy-ish, and a couple of other cartoons. Oh, it was those Mickey Mouse shorts that kind of came on Disney like a while back that kind of also
Mhm.
had like this. So I'm just saying that the influence of that show was kind of like, it's a lot of animators very much were influenced by, Ren and Stimpy. But going back to Billy West,
Mhm.
like, yeah, he is just one of those people that is like, okay, just give him. It's kind of like a comedy routine where you just give somebody like a stick or a remote, just poke them, and they'll just go like a million miles an hour. Like, that's just literally how
Yeah.
quick, fast, and crazy that they can be. So, yeah,
I look at, yeah, I'm a big art fan,
yeah,
paintings. I love it, modern, classical, and I look at those kind of cartoons as high art. I really do,
yeah,
because they've given these guys so much freedom. Number one, to paint the picture, which is incredible. The work some of these guys do, and number two, well, three things actually. Number two, storylines, which are just really avant-garde. I mean, they're just taking it places where conventional cartoons didn't go. And then third, the performances, which are not conventional. They're just off the rails, original. So I think in a way, those cartoons are where the real art is happening in the industry, where they have the most freedom to really push the envelope and take it places. Now, if it wasn't for the limitations of the FCC and things like that, which you got to keep it clean, you got to keep it a certain way. I think it'd go even further. But within those constraints, I think they're making amazing stuff. I mean, if you want to have a head trip, if you want to just watch stuff that's just going to take you out of a normal kind of perspective, that's where to go. You're not going to find it on episodic television. You're not going to find it. You'll find it on cable to a degree, certain shows, but it's not the art, pure art. That's what I see in those, and I really appreciate it. I mean, it's like jazz. It's very improvisational. It's very wild. It's just unpredictable. It's deep. It's expansive, and I think that you have the freedom to do that because of the medium, the way it's been set up, especially today, like you said, with all the new stuff coming out. It's fantastic, just fantastic. Yeah.
yeah. And I know that we're kind of in a bit of a rough patch when it comes to mainstream animation, but when it comes to indie, when you see stuff like this new show that is Circus, Amazing Digital Circus something, and you see a lot of these cartoons that are just that started out as something that you watch on YouTube, but then I'm seeing a lot of these shows go on Amazon Prime,
Mhm.
Netflix, so going with a lot of these big companies and studios, and
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
just really living in an age where a lot of this, where we're seeing a lot of indie cartoon creators just really start, um, getting a chance to shine in the industry. Where,
Yeah, it really
if
is.
it's something, yeah,
Assuming they AI doesn't take over and they start making everything through AI,
mm,
which is the topic of the moment these days. Yeah, it's giving a lot of people the ability to express their individuality, their originality, unless unless people find a way to express that originality through AI. Maybe there will be people who are experts at AI art. I don't know. I What I've seen of it so far is, it's well, here's what I said to someone yesterday. I just had a meeting with the director yesterday, and I said, it's advancing so much faster than they said it would. I mean, they said, oh, in 5 years it's going to be this, in 10 years. Well, now we're already just like kind of a year into the real discussion about it. It's already advanced so fast, so far. So I think we're going to see some amazing stuff. And it's either going to eliminate us all, or we'll find ways to work with it, to be a part of it. It's just a really interesting time. There's no way to tell. Part of the reason I'm fascinated by doing so much live performance, which what I've been doing on stage, is I kind of feel like it might be the last refuge for performers where they can't manufacture it. If you want to see a live performance, you're going to have to go see a live performance, unless you're going to see a hologram, but it's not the same. So I think of myself in terms of because I'm older. You ever read the book Fahrenheit 451? You ever read that book? It was given out in high school and stuff. It's the time in the future when books are banned and they burn books. And firemen, their job is to burn books, not to put out fires, but to start fires. And if you have a book, you're arrested and are sent to prison. So this underground movement starts to for people to find a book that you love and admire, like The Sun Also Rises, Hemingway. Memorize it, own it. They're all retreat up into the mountains and they recite that book daily. And there's hundreds of people up there, each with a book in them, in the hopes that someday when this evil regime is defeated, they'll need to get those books back because they'll have been burned. And these people will be recite these books to be printed once again. So, I think about that with what's going on right now. And I spend a lot of time memorizing long passages of literature and I put them on stage and stuff because that's kind of what's on my mind now. We'll see what happens, but it's interesting.
Uh, I mean, I would just have so many discussions with a lot of my friends and colleagues that are in the world of voiceover, and we just kind of discuss because that's kind of the reason why we were sort of in a big like strike for video games. And
Yeah. Yeah.
let me just turn on my phone. But yeah, we were just kind of in a strike against video games and AI. But even before that, it was kind of like WGA writers, and then it just kind of extended to all of Hollywood, like acting and it's
Hmm.
everywhere. So that's why we did it, so that way we could just protect ourselves against because you're so right. Because I'm not going to say like, oh, it's the future of AI is very uncertain, but with how it is very just drastically improving and it's just been evolving, like it's
Hmm.
only a matter of time. But what are we going to do to come? But it's not like, oh, it's not going to be all doom and gloom forever. I mean, of course not, because even with AI, you just cannot replace an actual human who can, give you something
I
better.
can't honestly say I agree with you. I think that it's just going to get better and better and better. They're already talking about audiobooks, narrators, audiobook readers. They can feed the printed word into a computer and they can have a voice that reads it, effectively reads it, which is as almost as good as a human and at like virtually no cost. So the money makers, the people who want to make these books, they're always going to be looking for a cheaper way to do it. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, the only completely safe refuge is live performance, and that's the only thing, unless, like I said, they make holograms, but the cost of making holograms will be so expensive, and it'll have to reference some performer. It'll have to be built off the expressions and voice of some performer. I don't know if anyone's going to come see that, but I don't know. It's interesting. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time, and I'm sort of at the last chapter of my career, I guess you could say. So I'm looking and I'm saying, well, this is going to happen to future generations, and how are they going to handle it? So I don't really feel, honestly, that what was achieved with the strike is going to totally protect us. I think there were enough loopholes in there for them and I think that's always been their plan. Yeah, well, we'll give you a little bit here or there, but our ultimate plan, as is to go all AI. I mean, why wouldn't they? They're businessmen. They want to find the cheapest way to make their product, and I don't think we're completely protected. We do the best we can, but technology marches on. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I hope for the best.
Same here.
Yeah.
But speaking of live performing, because that's something that because just by looking at your website, this is an area that you very much have extensive experience in. So for live performing, what would you say is something about it that you love and cherish so much about, just performing on stage, doing film, TV, just pretty much the whole, just pretty much running the whole gauntlet, pretty much.
Well, I always say the analogy for me as an actor is that we're not time travelers per se, but we're time travelers in the sense that we move into another space. We are able to create a fictional reality and hopefully have enough skill to bring it to life so that people who are witnessing it feel they are witnessing the real thing. So if I'm doing King Lear, which I've done, I have to get deeply enough into that character, have established deep enough relationships with my fellow actors that when people come to see it, they believe they are witnessing this story, this brilliantly written story of this man at his tragic end. Um, and I take great satisfaction in that ability to create an altered reality. And if I feel I've successfully brought the audience with me, it doesn't feel like, wow, I'm great. It feels like I fulfilled my purpose. I just feel like that's my purpose in life. And when I do that, I feel like I fulfilled my purpose. I do these one-man shows, like I said, three writers, Dostoevsky, Kafka, and Orwell. And I have what I call the ODK cycle, which is Orwell, Dostoevsky, Kafka. There's 6 pieces altogether. I've done all of them, not all of them on stage, but I rotate. Now we're going to be doing another one in the next year. We're going to go back to the Dostoevsky piece. And it's a tremendous challenge. It's a very satisfying thing. People who've told me who've read, let's say, Notes from the Underground, which is the Dostoevsky piece, they say it's really fulfilling for them to see that character brought to life before them. Instead of reading it in the book, the dry experience of reading a book and imagining, they're actually seeing that character speaking. And if they've read the book, they've imagined what would he have been like? What did he look like? What did he move like? How did he talk? What was his attitude? And then they go, like, I have the video, the most watched video I've done of all my shows is Notes from the Underground. It's got like 50,000 views or something. And the consistent comment is, that's on YouTube, is I'd read the book, but when I saw you do it, it was like you brought it to life. It was thrilling. And I go, thank you. That makes me feel good. And I also get the benefit of having experienced that story myself. I live in the suburbs of Los Angeles. I live a very traditional, you could say boring life. I don't do anything exceptional in my life, but I am able for that hour and a half, say, to become this character, this famous character from literary history, brilliantly written by a brilliant writer, and live in that world. And I feel enriched by it myself. So that's what it does for me, particularly these pieces. But any acting I do, if I am able to successfully become a character and live in that character for, be it a few minutes or a half an hour, an hour, to me is very fulfilling. I feel as though that's my purpose in life. When I do it, I feel like I've done my job. So it's a very long answer to a very short question.
Honestly, we love long answers.
Okay, good. Yeah, and I'll be doing this probably the rest of my life. I have these 6 shows which I run every day. They're all memorized. I live this experience, these 6 characters once a day. They're there and always available for if and when my wife and I, who directs it, find an opening where we can go in and perform these pieces, be it one night or a series of nights. Sometimes I'll do them at an art gallery as a performance piece. Sometimes I'll find a legitimate theater. But these stories will always be within me. And I always say, when I'm old and living in the home, sitting off in the corner, mumbling to myself, you'll know I'm reciting my stories. And those will be my companions in my older years. Those will be the part of me that I've explored and discovered and keep close to me to give my life meaning. And the connection to what it is to be a human being, the struggles that these characters and other characters have gone through, um, trying to just be a human being on this earth. That's the message I want to convey, you know. That's kind of where I'm at with it. So,
Uh, and what would you say out of everything you've done, from horror, drama, comedy, all these short films, what would you say were the ones that really changed your life for the better?
well, I always gauge it. It's a pretty simple way to gauge it from my perspective. The ones that stayed with me the longest, the ones I could not get out of my system. I wasn't thinking consciously, this is my favorite role, but I'm aware that I can't let that one go. And there's a few. There was King Lear, which I couldn't stop thinking about for 6 months after we closed. There was Leon on Deadwood. You know, I was on the show Deadwood. I played the opium addict Leon for 3 years. That character still is with me. And then of the 6 shows I've done, in particular, the character from Notes from the Underground, Underground Man, he's called. It's an hour and a half piece. And that one, the ones that took me to the deepest, most honest place in my own life, the ones that made me confront my own perspectives, my own emotions, those are the ones that stayed with me because they touched me. And so those would be the 3. I would say Underground Man by Dostoevsky, Leon from Deadwood, and King Lear from Shakespeare. And I'm playing a character now, Mitch McConnell, which is it's fun as hell. I have a really good time, and it's entertaining, and people seem to really love it. Uh, but it's never going to touch me like these other ones. You know, Dostoevsky, Kafka, and Orwell asked deep questions. They said, "What does it mean to be a human being? How do we survive this brief moment on Earth? What can we learn about how to be better people? how to not hurt people, how to help people. What can we learn about being a human being? We learn by asking questions and facing deep, deep, difficult challenges. That's how we're tested. And then at the end of your life, you can say, if you believe, like I do, that life is basically about learning, hopefully you feel like I've learned something. From beginning to end, I now know more. I understand better. And you take that into the stars when you die. Um, that to me is the purpose is can we be better people at the end than we were at the beginning? Not by better like have a higher test scores, but better in that we understand more deeply and are more sensitive to others. That's my journey. That's my hope. And that's what I continue to pursue and will until I can no longer, be. Yeah. And you're having an experience in your life. You're navigating your way through the many challenges of what you do, and you face the same challenges that all other humans face. So is he, so is she. But we have a commonality. And if we can find that meeting place in the middle where we all go, look, outside of my work and where I live and how much money I make and how who I identify as and stuff, I'm a human being. We all have that in common. That's never going to change. We're always all going to be human beings at the end of the day. And let's help each other if we can. Let's share that experience. Let's teach each other. Let's learn from each other. We have that opportunity, and I believe art is the way to do it through art. That's what I believe. So,
So that would probably be the like final thoughts and advice that you
sure.
would
Yeah, I would
close.
say so. I
Yeah,
would say so. Yeah, just pursue your art, and through it, see what you can learn and what you can teach, and just hang in there. Keep going. Do your best. Test
yeah,
yourself. Make use of your time. It's limited. It's limited. So,
exactly. So before we go, anything
yes.
else that you wanted to share, like social media, upcoming stuff, and anything
Well,
like,
I'm in this show,
yeah,
44 Obama Musical. It's really fun to go to the website and listen to the songs and see the pictures and watch the videos. There's also a Vimeo channel for it, so that's really fun. That's probably I'm going to be involved in that probably through the rest of the year. Aside from that, just my shows. You can go to larrycedar.com and you can see. I think I have all my shows online basically on YouTube, but you can watch them all via the theater section of my page. We videotaped all of my shows in one form or another. Sometimes we just filmed it. Sometimes it was in a theater. So that's kind of it. And you can follow me on Facebook, just Larry Cedar, Facebook/Larry Cedar, Instagram, Larry Cedar Actor. Those are the two I do mostly. So aside from that, yeah, I hope I see you at one of my shows or something.
yeah, sounds awesome.
Good.
Anything else that you want to see? Um, like because I know we're kind of in the second half, like July of 2025. So is there anything that you're kind of like to see happen for the rest of this year or in the future?
Well, I did a film a while back, shot a film called This Bloody Country. If you go to thisbloodycountry.com, you can see the trailer. And I play a Mormon preacher it's in the 1860s or 70s. That's a great film. Just found a distributor. That should be coming out. This Bloody Country, thisbloodycountry.com. That's an excellent film. I would love to see that hit theaters or get distribution because I think it's a very good film. And then I may be doing a film, oddly enough, in the Canary Islands by a friend of mine who's written a script. It's a Western, but they have all kinds of financial incentives over there in Spain. So it takes place in the Old West where they have terrain over in the Canary Islands, which looks very much like the Old West. So I'm hoping that happens. And I'm out in a film, just came out, very small part in a film called Abraham's Boys, which just came out last Friday. A small part, but by a director named Natasha Kermani, who's a great director, and I'm proud of that film. And aside from that, I'm always on the hunt for my next job. Always looking.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Stay
Never
tuned
know.
because
Stay
I'm,
tuned.
yeah, exactly. Might have something coming up in the pipeline. So
Yeah.
stick around. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. This has been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been so much fun, man.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best. And
Thank you. You too.
yeah, to anybody who's watching this, thank you so much for watching the podcast. And for our outro, this is Robert Jackson, and you've just listened to my interview with Larry Cedar. And thank you so much for just being here and stay awesome. Have a blessed rest of your day. And yeah, happy summertime. Stay cool. And yeah, definitely stay cool. Uh, so, anyways, take care, y'all. Peace.
Thank
Oh,
you.
and my condolences to those in Texas right now. Yeah, just praying for all of y'all. God bless. Stay awesome. Bye.